Hello, Tarot friends, and welcome back to Tantra and Tarot with Kelly. Let's chat about all the October energies today. It's going to be a dynamic month. And first off, I'd like to wish a happy birthday to all Libras, including my son, and remind you to please click and subscribe to support me as a channel. This month is going to be really exciting as we have multiple eclipses this month. We have the new moon with a solar eclipse on October 14th at 21 degrees of Libra, opposing Chiron, which could bring up old wounds for healing. And then on October 8th, we have another eclipse, which is a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus at 5 degrees, where being grounded and practical could help you move through any intense emotions. We also have Venus ingressing Virgo on October 9th, and Mars ingressing into its home sign of Scorpio on October 12th. So lots of opportunity for change and powerful endings and new beginnings. So I'm shuffling right now. We're going to pull some cards and see what those energies are in the tarot. But first off, how does this month feel to me? Well, I think it feels like the right combination. Having tried various solutions and strategies, this month holds the right combination for a new start. With the South Node eclipse in Libra, old karmic contracts are either up for renewal or dissolution. What was out of reach before may now well be in grasp because you have changed. Your rough edges are now softer. And so the key finally fits. Bottom of the deck, when I cut, we have the Chariot card. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. However, remembering the lessons you learned to get here is essential for future growth and sustainability. I've had some recent dreams about picking my school locker, and this time I was in the section with the juniors, and another student comes up and tells me I am now a senior and that my new locker is over there. So what does that all mean? I think it is a sign that we are all leveling up. And the key you received on a previous level now fits that stuck door because you have found the right combination with yourself to make it work. So, and how did you do that? It's through trusting your own intuition. That's what's gotten you here. All right, let's see what else we have here. I'm just missing, it looks like just an animal spirit card. So I'm going to grab that right here. And let's talk a little bit about that Chariot card that we saw at the beginning. Chariot is the card of Cancer, and it means that you have built your container for life. You've built your chariot, and now you have two horses, your light side and your dark side, and trying to get those work together to move the chariot forward means that you probably had to integrate a lot as it has to pertain to the head and the heart together. And getting those working on the same page will help move that chariot forward. Could be spending some extra time with your family. You may also be building containers for others in which support their life and sustainability. So we'll see how that comes into play. At the bottom of the deck, I have the 10 of Cups, which is beautiful. So feeling like perhaps you're riding some of those unicorns in the sky, maybe feeling like a lot of your emotional well-being is being supported right now. You may feel more supported by family and friends, or just having a good time and not really worrying so much about the past or the present, living in the moment with that true happiness. I've got some interesting cards here. So we're absolutely going to talk about them all, but just for a quick overview, past energy, I have the 6 of Swords. Current energy, I have the 4 of Cups. Future energy, I have the 9 of Cups. And the main energy, which seems to be coming up pretty often these days, is the 3 of Swords. And I think that really has to do with this strong energy we're going to be having with a Libra opposing Chiron on that solar eclipse that we have on October 14th. So let's see what else we have here. We have 2 I Ching cards. The first one is number 64, the very final card of the I Ching. And the next one is number 61, which is inner truth. So we'll see what those mean here in a little bit. This is interesting. Our archetype card we have is prostitute. And then we have our romance angel. Ooh, very fun, which is wedding. Certainly those are very highlighted in our Libra month here. Then we have animal spirit card. We have the busy beaver. And our moonology card I have is new moon in Virgo, time to give rather than to take. So let's talk about all of these in detail as it pertains to having that right combination for this month and moving forward with what it is that you are looking to change and grow through. So coming into this month, we do feel like things are a little bit more at peace. And I like how this card does work with number 61, inner truth, because when you find your inner truth, when you find what it is that grounds you, then those worries don't seem to be as heightened. So the Six of Swords is putting those worries in the boat and sailing into fresh waters. You've had to kind of go through hell to get here. This is sailing through the river Styx from the underworld into the upper world. So we are gathering all of that anger, all of those nasty thoughts, everything else. We're hitching a ride to a brighter future, and we've done so by putting things to rest. We're putting to rest jealousy. We're putting to rest wanting to win at all costs. We're putting to rest other challenges that got us caught in our head. And now it seems to be that, okay, now we're kind of more on the easy road. Things seem to be flowing a little bit better, and we've found some inner peace. But that hasn't come without, understanding our emotions on a deeper level. You may have just had to sit with your emotions here. We kind of the bored panda, maybe been waiting for things to come around. And then when something came around, it just wasn't really what you thought it was going to be. And so you've had to say no to some opportunities, or maybe somebody said no to you, but that's all for the greater good. That's all for the greater good, because it just wasn't meant for you. Rejection is God's protection, and or things that aren't meant for you. It's good to just say no, because no use wasting your time on energy on things that are not going to be beneficial at this time. And it's better to to be honest with somebody rather than to lead them on. And I think this month that we're going to see a lot of breakups. We're going to see a lot of, I just can't do it anymore. It's not working for me. I need time for myself to heal. We are going to have Venus moving into Virgo, like we talked about with this. This is Virgo new moon, but your heart is going to be renewed. You may feel like you have to be more of a perfectionist as it comes to how you love and how you serve others and what's not serving you. And that may mean that we're going to have some breakups, or there may have been three parties involved in a scenario in which someone needs to walk away in order to find balance. And that's good, because sometimes karmic contracts and karmic endings, when they get here, it was really what we've been waiting for and what we've been needing. And that may have to do with your job. It could be, you may have been working really hard at something. You may have been, trying to make it work, and it just didn't come together. And that's okay, because there's going to be a new door that's opening. And in the future, we have the 9 of Cups. So this ending is going to be necessary in order for you to get your wish. And so don't feel bad about the things that just didn't appeal to you or didn't work out, because on a deeper level, it's absolutely going to be what you need. And that bigger picture, focusing on that bigger picture, focusing on what makes you happy. I mean, not getting too fantasy ridden about it, but just deciding like, okay, this is what it is. And so I'm just going to be happy. And if you don't feel like being happy, if you feel like you feel like a little left out, we've got that 5 of Pentacles underneath there, then continue to do the inner work and continue to find your self-value within and not without. That is very helpful. Let's read a little bit about this prostitute card. It says, light attribute, accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. So certainly not giving yourself away for free. It says shadow attribute places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. And maybe you feel like this at work. Maybe you feel like, hopefully not like this in your relationships, but if you are over giving just to like have that sex, or if you are working all night for a boss who's treating you like shit, or however it may be, know that you can walk away from that. If that's something you can say no to. You don't have to take less than what you're worth. And you certainly don't have to give your body up to somebody that's not appreciating it. Or if, say, you're in a relationship and they don't want to be committed, but you're sleeping together, then certainly make those decisions. Your body's your own and not anyone else's. And you can absolutely say no, even if that breaks somebody's heart. So what the heart to heal here is your own. And you may be finding that the relationship that you have with your parents could be very highlighted this month. With Libra season, obviously, there's always a lot of weddings. So you may be going to weddings. You may be reflecting on what weddings mean to you. It is not always the easiest energy. Sometimes we go to a wedding and we feel like, why isn't it me? Or you go to a wedding and then to find out 2 years later they got a divorce after you spent a bunch of money to get there and buy them nice gifts. So, there's always that bittersweetness there. But certainly connecting with your soulmate, finding what's important, putting your head and your heart on the same page, like we saw with the Chariot card, and allowing your commitments and your contractual obligations to be very important to you. So if you are married and you're looking to rejuvenate, look back to those original contracts, for better or for worse, till death do us part. I mean, what did we say and what did we mean? And how is that going to, how can that be renewed at this time? And it may take some hard work. You may be building something for your family at this time. However, I do think there is going to be a lot of joy here in the future. This Chiron activity that we're going to be having with that eclipse will allow us to let go of the stuff that no longer serves, make the right choices for our hearts and others that we're connected with. Okay, so let's look at what we have a little bit here with the I Ching. I'll read a bit about number 64 and number 61, and I may take a few more keywords for the Vive here. So, all right, let's read about number 64, which is the very last card of the I Ching. And what does it say here? Nearing completion. Fire above, water below. The situation is complete, but the chaos of the past is giving way to order. The goal is in sight. Nevertheless, you are still treading on thin ice. Though the way ahead is unobstructed, the goal is clear. A cautious and careful attitude is still important, lest you slip and fall. Nearing completion is the last hexagram of the I Ching, and it suggests that the ever-spinning wheel of life never reaches a final conclusion. Just as hidden sadness resides in the heart of true euphoria, then just as the seeds of amazing achievement can sprout from a cauldron of adversity, no end is ever really complete without a new beginning stirring inside of that. And isn't that so indicative of our eclipse season that we're in right now? We may divide life into categories to understand and manage it, but experience itself is seamless. The Tao 64-spoked wheel of change is ready to spin onward. Just like that chariot. Ever evolving, ever staying the same. And it goes on, but consider the possibility that you have little information or no experience of what it's like descending at some of these mountainous plains that we're going through right now. And the new situation may seem strange, but the other side is where the true mystery lies. So tread carefully and you will reach your goal. Let's go ahead and see what number 61 says here, and then we'll read the changing lines between the two. It says, centering in truth. Centering in truth involves becoming conscious of the relationship between your heart and the circumstances of your life. This requires connecting with the fundamental wisdom that is within you, within others, and within all of nature. Truth becomes power when you let go of prejudice and make yourself receptive to the world as it really is, not making up fantasies. This kind of inner transformation can produce a remarkably influential person, but it is difficult to achieve the distracting modern world of false messages and fake relationships. It is only achieved by those who cultivate a genuine openness to the way things are and possess a willingness to see into the heart of things rather than merely looking at appearances, which can be, that Venusian quality. Venus tends to sometimes just look at the outside, and that is one of the lower octaves of Libra, is that it's only about appearances when we know that beauty is skin deep. When your inner life is clouded, your influence in the world will likely be hidden. If you are fearful, you will be attacked. If you cloak mysteries with dogma, opportunities for insight will be lost. So cultivate this ability and become adept at using it, and it will allow you to relate to those who might share a common purpose with you for the greater good. So connecting on the inside, connecting on that soul level, and not letting appearances distract you from the real truth. So let's read the changing lines between number 64 and number 61. We have lines 1, let's see here, line 4 and line 5. So let's read 64, line 4. Let's see here, 64, line 4. Inevitably, as chaos gives way to new order and trouble dissolves themselves in the clarity of a fresh solution, new struggles develop. This line refers to a situation in which forces of decadence and disorder are threatening again. You must advance strongly and firmly or face humiliation and defeat. Take heart and enter the fray. All of your skills, talents, and influence will be needed. Engage all of yourself right now. And maybe that is the right combination that we were talking about, what to bring to the table in order to get your dreams to manifest. It is going to be saying no to things that are pulling you away from your true self. And it's going to be saying yes to healing and finding greater depth within your soul. So let's read a little bit more about the beaver and we'll wrap it up. It says the beaver's personality is a welcome sight. These good-natured and dependable creatures have infinite love and enthusiasm for family and express it by way of earth element. Although a beaver doesn't usually initiate a project, once started, they'll work steadily for weeks, months, or years to see it through. The beaver card appears when the task at hand requires your long-term and steady effort. It can signify that it is time for some karmic yoga or selfless service. And that does relate to our Virgo card and Venus moving into Virgo. When in balance, happy, meaningful work. When out of balance, feels useless, worn out. Bring into balance, physical labor, selfless service. So being there for others this month, it could be challenging. We could have a lot of shifts to go through with some of these energies that may be uncomfortable. However, just know that the happiness lies within yourself and with making those right choices that are going to give you the right combination. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you again very soon. Please subscribe to my channel for more Tantra and Tarot.